Hey, it's Brian.
It's Barry.
And welcome to the greatest podcast ever imagined in the universe, the Collecti-Bros podcast. Another episode of Is It Worth It? This is our bi-weekly series where you look at 5 major talking points for the game. We look at the story, we look at the gameplay, we look at the graphics, the sound and the music, and then the ultimate question, is it worth it? I try to do one of these once a year where we do a ports episode, so this is what you joined us for today. And I say I try to do one of these once a year, but I kind of force Barry to do these once a year. I'm sorry. Last time we did Primal Rage.
Maybe someday it'll be my turn. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to do one next year.
It's just, I think it's fun just to look at different versions of the same game because, like, you know, sometimes they're vastly different and sometimes they're identical and sometimes they don't work, but, you know, we'll get there.
All right, next year, every version is The Last of Us.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it again? No. It's, this one's fun, though. We have 4 different console home ports that we're looking at today. We have the 3DO, we have the Philips CDI, we have the Wii, and we have the Sega CD. I was like, yeah.
It was really memorable.
So yeah, there are other versions of this game. There's digital downloads, but hey, we're a collecting podcast, bro. We're trying to look at the physical copies of games that you can actually put on your shelf and or play physically. And oh my god, that cat's screaming. But before we jump into this episode, I invite all of you to check us out on social media. We are at Collecti-Bros Pod on all socials, also available on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate each and every one of you. You are all valued. We thank you for your continued support. God, that sounds so professional. I swear I just made it off the top of my head. But anyways, fuck that. Let's jump in. Mad Dog McCree initially was a light gun / interactive movie, I guess, released for the arcades in December of 1990. This game was developed by American Laser Games, who actually have a really interesting break into the industry. They started out doing like police simulators. I don't know if you've ever watched like Cops and you've seen this shit. For the geezers out there like me, you know, they had like these basically like it was a tarp. You shot at it in certain scenarios, and it was just like a VHS or a DVD. I guess it wasn't a DVD back then, but like a VHS that you basically shot at, and it's like, hey, you hit the bad guy, you hit the civilian, but it was basically for training purposes, right? Just different scenarios.
If I remember correctly, that's still used in the military.
I wouldn't be surprised.
At least when I was in it, I'm pretty sure we went through some of those like virtual whatever.
No shit.
Scenario ones. Huh. Yeah, so.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had, like, updated versions today for police, because, I mean, it's like, it looks hokey and shit back then just because of the time, you know? But for the time, it was like, hey, real moving people, like, one-to-one life, because, like, if it wasn't that, it was like, you know, Atari fucking bullshit and fucking old PC graphics, and it just didn't look realistic.
Yeah, I'm wondering how the calibration was on those, because you'd have to use, obviously, like a big screen and a projector to get it even life size. Like, they're not going to have TVs that big.
Right.
So I'm curious, like, I don't know the intricacies of it, or, now that you mention it, I haven't even looked into it, and I'm sure it's easily answered on the internet, but I'm just curious of what the calibration is. If it's just on a flat bed sheet, basically.
Right.
Like, where's the calibration for the actual,
Damn, this is something I should have asked my dad, because I know he did it, like, when he went to, my dad was a former police officer, and I remember him talking about some of this shit, like, the second time he went through the academy, so, damn it, we should have researched.
Oh, well.
It's all right.
That's what we do here. No research.
This is from the hip. But, it's funny, because, like, obviously they weren't trying to make video games at the time, but literally the board was like in on one of these sessions where they were going through it, and they were like, how can we make more money off this thing? Like, clearly entertainment, like, let's just make a gun game, like, this is perfect. And you gotta think, like, this is before, Time Crisis, House of the Dead, Point Blank, like, whatever light gun game you want to pick. There wasn't like the light gun genre yet, so they're kind of the inventors of it. Actually, Nintendo in like 79, they had a light gun game, but it wasn't in the sense where like you're aiming at the screen and you have to hit the screen. It was very much of like, you think of like the big button you push on like a simple arcade. It had a gun controller, but it was literally just a button. You didn't aim at anything. Like, you could literally be aiming at the floor or the ceiling. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't track your shot. But you basically had to pull the trigger faster than the guy on the screen. Mm-hmm. And it was actual video, but it was like horrible quality. I don't even think it was like VHS quality. It was like maybe Betamax or something. I don't know. But it's not great. It was called Quick Draw. It's not remembered. And obviously they reused that name for the NES game, but it is a different game. But this is really like the first light gun game, which they kind of pioneered the genre. So in a weird way, like Mad Dog McCree's got some little bit of like history and pedigree behind it, which is kind of cool in my opinion. But also, the secret sauce for this game was the hottest shit ever at the time. Now we have everything's a Soulsborne or a Metroidvania, but back then, FMV was like the hottest shit ever, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I remember flipping through Game Pros and shit and just literally just being like, oh, FMV, FMV, FMV. And you gotta think like the home console market at the time, Sega Frankenstein this Sega CD together just to be able to run FMVs. That's how much, people were enamored by it.
Yeah, like once disc base came to the market, it you could store so much more memory on a CD. And comparatively now to a DVD and a Blu-ray and how we keep going up, like the CD to a cartridge was an ocean.
Yeah.
They had so much more that they could do.
Y'all youngins don't understand. Like, it's actually funny because I remember even, my dad was like a computer, before he was a police officer, he was like, he built computers and shit. And I remember like getting our first, I think it was like Windows 3.1 machine. And it's during this time where like FMV was the shit. And we had a couple of like PC games that tried to do it. It was just, the technology at the time wasn't quite there. The one I remember in particular was like Frankenstein, Eyes Through the Monster. So it was like you're playing as the monster, and they had like Tim Curry like fresh off of Rocky Horror. So they clearly were pumping money into this thing, because I'm sure that wasn't cheap back then. But I remember the screen was like, I don't know, maybe 3 inches tall, 5 inches wide, just like the FMV, just to get it to play smoothly, because if you went any bigger than that, it would just pixelate the shit out of it and look horrible. But the technology wasn't there, and that's why they were like, hey, let's try these cool things on Laserdisc for these arcade machines, which, ingenious. And for y'all youngins that don't know what a Laserdisc is,
We all know how that ended up.
yeah, no shit. Think of like, it's like almost a record-sized disc, right? But it's reflective like a DVD, and most of them were like dual-sided.
It's just a CD the size of a vinyl record.
Fucking huge.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. It gave you so much more memory and shit back then, but it wasn't practical lugging these big-ass fucking disc around, so I don't think it ever took off. And the funny...
Well, no, because like they couldn't figure out how to condense it down to a smaller size.
Yeah.
Until the CD, they were like, well, we have...
Compact disc.
Yeah, compact disc. So, they had Laserdisc, and they were like, cool, we can jam memory onto this now. And then the next step was shrinking it.
It's so funny, like, I never had a Laserdisc player growing up, but I remember going to, like, Fry's and fucking, like, what was the other one that was here? Oh, I don't know, the old electronic stores that aren't around anymore. They'd have them on display, and the funny things, I remember they always had to, like, flip, because they were two-sided, and you would just hear, like, right in the middle of the movie, and it was like, what the fuck, this is so distracting.
I remember there was either, like, a friend that I had, or, like, one of my parents' friends or something, where I'd go to their house a lot, and I remember they had a little door under their stairs. You'd open up the door, and that's where all the hookups for, like, the surround sound and the Laserdisc system was, because they had the surround sounds threaded through their house.
Sick.
And then the Laserdisc hooked up to it, and then the TV was on the other side. If I remember correctly, it was like a large TV, but it still had that big-ass booty.
Yeah.
So before flat screens were a thing, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering this correctly, they cut a hole in the wall
To fit the
and
ass.
then nested the TV into it, and then had the rest of the shit behind it hidden inside of the wall.
Man, y'all youngins don't know what we had to sacrifice. Could you imagine, like, doing home improvement projects just to fit a TV?
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah. So, I mean, I remember it looking nice and being like, what
What
is...
the fuck?
And it was just box stacked on box stacked on box, because, like, you needed a crazy amount of boxes for surround sound is
Yeah.
extensive wiring and whatnot, know,
Right.
when it kind of was implemented, and now it's fucking Bluetooth. You
Right.
just tape shit to your walls and it works fine.
It's crazy how far we come. And looking back, this being, like, cutting-edge tech, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Shit, am I that old? Like, goddamn.
I can laser. This is the future!
It's so funny, because, like, I remember seeing this thing at the arcade and just being blown away, but like, look how smooth it is. Like, it's crazy. It's, like, almost real life, It's not... I didn't know frames and shit back then. I was a dumbass kid, but I was like, oh, it's if you're moving your hand in front of your face, it looks that smooth.
It was funny because over the weekend at work we got a new supervisor, so we're all like in a circle, like introducing ourselves or whatnot, like all the management team. And one of the managers, I don't remember how he got it on it, but she was like, "Oh, how many of you guys like still have CDs?" And I was like, "How many of you guys still have Laserdisc?" And me and one other dude rose our hands. He's probably my age too. And he was like, "Yeah, Laserdisc." I was like, "What about VHS tapes?" He's like, "Yeah, me too." And they were like, "What the fuck?" Oh, it started on Who Still Has Cable because they were all talking about streaming TV shows right now. And she was like, "Am I the only one that have cable?" And I'm like, "You don't know what I got at my house."
Fucking cable, bro. That's wild. Yeah, it is funny, man. I love old tech. I'm a geezer. Fuck it. I'm embracing it. Geezer Brian, Collecti-Bros.
Boxes of floppy discs.
I've got them. Fuck it. It's fun,
Cassette
man.
tapes.
That's why we do this shit.
And it's funny how things go like full circle where, you've got like Kanye West on cassette tapes and like new artists are making albums on, like, I remember when vinyl came back and it was like, oh, vinyl's cool. And it was more of like a collectible item because they're doing color presses and limited things. And like people who bought those never played them. They just kind of had a collection of them. And then next thing you know, it's like now we're putting everything back on cassettes with like limited edition cassette colors and cases that come with them and the cover art. And I'm like, damn.
Look, I'm not bashing
How are we just going to go back to the what's the little thing?
Track?
No. What's the little thing on a cylinder where you fucking turn it?
Oh, shit.
And the little metal things click the knobs.
For all of our times. What the fuck's that called? Oh,
like music box. That's how music boxes are played. You wind them up and you'd spin them, and the little. It's like imagine like a piano, but they're like metal prongs. I guess this is for anybody who's listening who's never seen one of these before. But it's a metal cylinder, and the metal cylinder when it spins around has these little metal nubs in certain spots, and depending on where the nub is, it'll click one of the metal prongs, and the prongs will play that noise. So it's like a super. I don't want to say archaic way of playing music, but it's a very mechanical way of playing music.
Yeah, we're gonna start getting wax cylinders again here soon. Bro.
Yeah.
Limited runs like, oh shit, what, we can do that? Don't give me any ideas. But yeah, we got on track. Sorry, geezer talk. My bad, y'all. But no, it's fun, man. That's why I love this shit, honestly. Yeah, the arcade cabinets, we talked about the Laserdisc, but they also used Amiga computers. So the thing was, like, obviously the movie would play on the Laserdisc, and the Amiga computer would track, like, the computing. Not to be an idiot, but yes. It is interesting they used Amigas, like, usually that's a, European computer. Like, we had Windows and shit here, and we had IBMs and stuff. I don't know why they went with Amigas. Maybe it's a price point thing. But they were, like, they were rolling in the dough before they got into the entertainment industry. Like, these police simulators they had, those things were, like, $30,000 a pop just to, like, use it. They, like, leased it, Mm-hmm. So they were doing well for themselves, and then this arcade machine was, like, super popular. When it first released in 91, it was, like, the highest grossing machine in the States, and I found, like, a Japanese magazine, which I'm not going to attempt to butcher this name, because we all know my Japanese is great around here, but in Japan, this game was, like, the number 3 selling arcade machine, not for new releases, but, like, total, which I thought was really interesting, but I was talking to my dad because he's like into like, Western history and stuff, but he was like, no, Europe and Japan and everybody, like, they love the Wild West because it's such like a foreign thing to them. They never had, how Americans love, like we were talking about it.
Yeah. The
you had a great analogy.
The Western style is not really prevalent anywhere in the world, but it's like how Americans are obsessed with feudal Japan.
Right.
We just like fantasize about it and like romanticize it.
Yeah.
But feudal Japan was like not romantic at all.
No.
So and the same thing. It's the same thing as like westerns. Like westerns are romanticized heavily, especially by other countries. But like the Oregon Trail, bro, like dysentery. There was just like it wasn't something that was like easy lived or fun or anything like that. Like Outback or not Outback. That's fucking Australia. I guess that's as close as you're gonna get.
Seriously,
probably. But like the outlaw and the Western prairie and whatnot, like that was a hard life.
Dude, yeah.
It was very difficult. Like not a lot of people lived through that.
For real. And like, you were literally out there by yourself. Like there was no like, oh, let me just go to the closest town. Like the closest town was you and your prospecting buddies or
and
whatever.
You better hope that someone comes by is not going to rob your ass.
It is really funny. I think like media at the time too, like when America started like exporting their movies and shit, like westerns were a big deal in the 60s. So I think that's what a lot of these other countries are like, oh, this is how crazy America the Wild West is. Like this is all of our film heroes and shit.
You got actors like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, or like their entire careers are based on them as western actors.
Right. So a lot of our import movies were westerns. And then Red Dead's like huge around the world. So like it's still a thing. But I think that also was another little ingredient to the success of this game internationally. And it's funny, like the only reason why they stumbled on doing a Western game, because they were originally going to do like another police shooter. American Laser Games is based out of New Mexico, and they're like, hey, we want to try to make this thing cheap. Like, let's just shoot in our backyard. They looked out back and they're like, oh yeah, we live in the fucking desert. So they built like sets, and the actors they hired were actually like local ranchers. Like Mad Dog himself is literally how he got the job. He was like, yeah, I can twirl guns, so they hired me. And he never twirls the gun in the game once. So like it's really funny. CNN did like a deep dive, like behind the scenes, like look at Mad Dog, which is crazy to me, but awesome also. And it was done really well. They treated it with like, as this is game history, because obviously it was the full motion video stuff, and obviously the first Lightning game. I'll put a link into it. I found it on YouTube. I'll put that in our description just because I think it's a great watch. They interview all the actors and like the directors and shit. They're also fucking proud of this. Like it's really cool, man. Honestly, like I'm such a nerd. I was like, this is so fucking cool. Yeah. Like it's great. We'll put it in the description. We'll put it in Discord and stuff too. But I don't know, man. It's cool that these people are still around. All the props, all the sets are still literally in New Mexico. Like you can go to the set. So it's really great. As far as the arcade concerned, we'll get on to the games here after this arcade bit, but there's actually two versions of the cabinet I just want to put up because it's really unique looking. The first one, you can tell it was inspired by like the canvas shooting because it's like 3 feet the screen is away and there's a podium with a pistol. Mm-hmm. And obviously we talked about Laserdisc being fragile. It would break constantly. So that led them to doing a second iteration because the arcade owners were like, bro, this thing's huge. Can we please get a space saver version? Like, and it's fucking breaking. What are we going to do about it? So they made the second iteration where it's more classic, like stand-up, and it's the one we played at Galloping Ghost in Chicago, where it's a very traditional, like, light gun. The gun's right up front. You can pull it out. And that one's actually running on a modified 3DO, which you think the 3DO version would be better from that. But you know what? Hey, we'll get there. But it's interesting that they even changed the tech around. But, yeah, there's two versions. We'll put pictures of them up in the video for the watchers and put it in Discord and whatnot. But hey, we're not here to talk about the arcade version, bro. We're here to talk about home ports. So yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Obviously, the rise of like compact disc. American Laser Games is like, hey, let's get this thing out on as many platforms as possible. And obviously with the popularity of being able to have home video, they were like, let's put it on every console that runs these FMVs. It's kind of like strike while the iron's hot. And it was like the perfect time for this to come to the home version. So they ended up doing the versions we mentioned, the CDI, the 3DO, the Sega CD. They also were going to do an Atari Jaguar version CD, but obviously that console bombed so bad. They were like, you know what, maybe not.
Yeah.
But there's not even a prototype or anything of it that's ever been released, so I don't know how far they got into the development of that, but I'm just saying, after playing Primal Rage, could you imagine what that fucking turd would have been like? I want to see it so bad. But later in the future, American Laser Games ended up selling to Her Interactive, which if you all don't know them, they do a lot of like the Nancy Drew Steam games, and they're like a mystery point-and-click developer. I don't know if they acquired... they're not doing anything with the license, obviously, but we got a PSN release digitally for this game, and it's supposed to be like a great version of this game. It's the most arcade accurate. It's got the arcade sounds. It's got like the highest picture quality. They actually like enhance the picture quality to 720p. It's
interesting because like the back of the box of the Wii one has the trademarks of American Laser Games / Her Interactive.
Interesting.
So they just absorbed them, right?
I think they just bought them outright, yeah, and they probably... That's the thing, like, there is a little bit of, like, history with this, so they might just be branding that name on the Mad Dog's releases, I guess.
Yeah,
that's true. The thing, the only other games they did were, like, Crime Patrol and shit, but Mad Dog's got way more, like, prestige than Crime Patrol, which I might make you suffer through that one day because it's goofy.
I think I might have to take the port slot this year. I need a break.
But
I gotta go take that slot quick.
yeah, dude, go fill up the spreadsheet.
I'm filling the spreadsheet up today.
Yeah, we
Lock
got
it
the,
in.
the PS3 version. Everyone's saying it's great. I don't want to waste your time with it. It's not a physical release, but it's still available is the biggest thing. So that's interesting. We also got an iOS release, which is funny to me. It's no longer available. It's pulled, but this touchscreen on this game seems like a fucking cheat code. Mm-hmm. There's also a 3DS version that obviously the 3DS store is closed, but again, touchscreen would be, I don't know. It's not a purest form of Mad Dog. Like, you don't have a light gun and shit. It's just kind of goofy to me. The most interesting release that it's technically a physical version for this game, but it's not a video game console. There was a DVD release for this game in 2003 where it's like you put it in your DVD, and I don't know how you aim with your remote, but like I am fascinated by it. It's like $30 to $40 on eBay. Like, don't tempt me with a good time, bro. I have to fuck around and see what that shit's like. But the only reason why I didn't do it is because, DVD player is not a video game console. We're here to focus on the games. But with that mess out of the way, let's jump into the one thing that all these games have in common. The only thing these games have in common. The story. Alright, the story. So it literally just throws you straight into the shit fire. You play as a nameless, faceless protagonist. You're only referred to as Stranger. Or there's the random prospector that calls you Pilgrim, like, out of the fucking blue, but...
Does he?
Yeah, he's just like, hey, Pilgrim, can you shoot? But everyone else calls you Stranger.
Oh, I thought he called you Stranger the whole time.
I think he goes back and forth. But
okay.
There's one scene with the fucking bottles where he's like, Pilgrim? Like, okay, sure, buddy. They were just like, we gotta get that.
Oh, and he throws them?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were just like, we gotta get that Western trope because we gotta check every single one off the list,
Hey, Pilgrim, you made it down the Oregon Trail.
Right.
You're still alive.
But yeah, literally you just walk into town and this old man's like, hey, Mad Dog, the notorious outlaw, and his gang kidnapped the mayor and his daughter. Can you help us out? And before you're even like, yes or no or anything.
Shooting a man dead.
Yep. He just jumps in and he's like, what's up, stranger? Like, I'm just going to murder you for no fucking reason because, the Wild West was so peaceful and beautiful back then. And
No, he runs out into the street and kills the old man that's trying to talk to you.
Right.
Well, attempts to.
If you miss.
If you miss.
Him and another guy, so you have to smoke two dudes off the bat. Like, they're trying to steal your quarters instantly, bro. But yeah, if you end up saving them, the prospector's like, hey, the sheriff is basically locked up in the jail. The gang's got him held up in there. One-Eyed Jack has the keys to the jail. He's in the saloon. If you can go there first, maybe. Like, it's kind of trying to tell you which path to go. Because this is where the game actually gets interesting, where they try something different. It gives you 4 paths to choose from right after this conversation. So you can go to the jail, you can go to the saloon, you can go to the barn, you can go to the streets. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, the bank. Yep, that's what it was. But the whole thing is like, it wants you to go a certain way, but you can kind of go in any order you want. But you're supposed to use your clues. You're supposed to listen like, hey, he's got the keys, the sheriff's in the jail. I'm supposed to go to the saloon first.
Have you played this out of order?
I have.
So, if you don't go to... If you go try to save the sheriff before you have the keys, does he tell you,
He literally tells you One-Eyed Jack's in the bar, in the saloon.
Gotcha.
With the keys. And then he's just, hanging out.
Okay, if you go through, get to the sheriff, because you only got to kill one guy in that scenario.
Yeah.
Well, you have to kill one guy. So you kill one guy and you go talk to the sheriff and he's like, go get the keys. And if you go get the keys and you come back, do you have to kill the guy again and go through the whole thing? Or does it remember that you didn't?
It makes you clear out the other scenarios and then it plays the cutscene after you save the sheriff. So it kind of goes out of order.
So you can't return to it until you get...
Correct. It kind of goes out of order.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which, it's cool they tried the different path thing because it leads to some, I guess, replayability. It's kind of just a different order, though. You're kind of doing the same shit. I appreciate the attempt in an arcade, because a lot of arcades are just one shot. You've played it, you've beat it. Cool, I love the game. Do you want to play it again? At least this will let you try some different things, which back then was kind of new for the arcade genre. So I appreciate the effort there. But just for sake of continuity, I guess we'll just kind of go through the order. So the first place we're going is the saloon to go get the keys to save the sheriff, right? And literally, like, right in the middle of the screen, there's a dude with an eye patch, which you're assuming is One-Eyed Jack. But the bartender's like, that over there is One-Eyed Jack. Like, no shit. Thanks, man. Like, context clues, I guess, weren't a thing back then.
He gets all real fucking close to you, like, so close that I'm like, I could probably smell the breath on this guy.
No
like,
shit.
through the screen. Yes. I'm like, I am uncomfortable right now.
Bourbon and B.O.
Oh, man. Dirt and sweat. He's probably hasn't showered because it's the West, and, you know, and everyone's fucking smells.
Yeah, dude.
In reality.
Holy shit.
And he's like, that guy over there. That's One-Eyed Jack.
See the guy with one eye? That's One-Eyed Jack.
He's like, stay away from him or something. He's just like, if you value your life or something like that.
And that's like literally the most cartoon like key ring I've ever seen in my life, where it's like a 3-foot key ring hanging off his hip, and he's like, "You looking at my keys, stranger?" Like, oh shit, I guess this is the guy I'm supposed to smoke. But the game like tries to steal your quarters again, where he's not the first guy you're supposed to smoke. He tells his buddy to like smoke the bartender. So this guy stands up like slow as shit because it's the first area. They're letting you win one, I guess. There's like 5 or 6 dudes you got to smoke there. You smoke One-Eyed Jack.
4.
Yeah, there's not very many. It's pretty easy, and they're all like very slow. They're not like
it's pretty introductory compared to some of the other areas.
Pretty crazy. The the henchman of Mad Dog gets a nickname, and he's like the worst gunslinger. You think the guys with the names would be like the legendary outlaws, but he's just a fucking buffoon. But you end up saving the bartender, and it's like one of my favorite scenes in the game. Like right off the bat, where the bartender's saying, he's like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he starts like pouring a shot. Mm-hmm. And if you think he's gonna like give you a shot for saving his life,
it's framed like he's behind the bar, like he hides behind the bar, right. And he pops up and he puts the shot glass like at the edge of the screen, like as close to the player as it possibly can get onto the bar, and he's like opening it up and he's talking about like, oh, you saved me, and he pours it, and he picks it up, and it looks like he's gonna give it to you, and he's like, psych, and he pulls it back.
Yeah. It's like the funniest thing unintentionally. We both were like, what the fuck? Like, thanks, asshole. But then he was like, yeah, go save the sheriff with them keys. Like, thank you. Which also leads me to another point. I wonder, like, if you're in an arcade and it's super loud and you're missing some of these clues and shit, could you imagine, like, what if this is next to, like, a Cubert or a Pac-Man, like, the 2 loudest fucking machines I can think of? Like,
well, even then, if you're thinking about it, I don't think it... There's only one scenario in this where if you miss the clue, you miss, like, you just die. That first beginning area, you can play it in any order, and it's not gonna stop you from doing anything.
Right.
It's kind of after the first 4, you're kind of fucked if you aren't paying attention.
For sure, yeah.
So I am curious on, like, how loud this was originally.
I wonder if they're like, put it next to Pac-Man so we can get more of your quarters. But, yeah, so you're going to the jail to free the sheriff, and it's another funny scene where basically you're staring at the door, right? And you just hear, like, out of nowhere, like, he's behind the door! And you see, like, a cowboy.
He's got a gun!
Yeah. And he's got, like, you just see it through the window, like, the top of his head. So you're like, all right, let me smoke him. And, like, it's a pretty quick in and out of there. But I do love the sheriff. He's all like, oh, thank you. Appreciate it. And he like hypes himself up after getting captured. You think he's getting like the best help ever, because he goes to the door and immediately starts like showboating for no fucking reason, not talking to anybody, and he's like, Mad Dog, a great actor by the way, like, what I can't do better, so I shouldn't talk shit, but he's all like, the delivery is the thing. He's literally just like, Mad Dog, you don't stand a chance, and he starts like twirling his guns, but there's no one around to watch it, so like, who you showboating for, bro? Like, thanks, pal. Thanks for the show, I guess. That's his reward instead of, like, drinking in front of you. He's
there's the bad guys out on the street that end up killing him.
Right, exactly.
He kills one. He gets one.
That's true.
All right.
So, like, you literally go out in the street, and he smokes one guy. He's like, oh, I got him. And then just, like, I don't know, he maybe lives 5 seconds after you free him. The dude up top just, like, smokes him. Just, So you clear the rest of the bad guys out of the street. And he's laying there, and it's funny. I don't know how many like takes they did, but there's just like this so distracting to me anyway. 'Cause maybe I'm OCD or something. I don't know. He has like a blade of grass that like lands on his arm. And it just doesn't go away, and it's just like flapping while he's talking to you. Like, ugh. He's like, be careful when you go to Mad Dog's hideout or some kind of shit. He gives you.
Oh, he tells you to go see the prospector first.
Oh yeah, he's like, make sure you see the prospector before you go to Mad Dog's hideout. Ugh. And then just dies, and you're like, well, that was rewarding. I'm so glad I saved the sheriff. Thanks. Whatever. So the next thing, you can either pick the bank or the barn. It doesn't really matter. I do the bank first because, like, as soon as you walk in, there's a guy that's like, there's more guys inside. Like,
I believe in the first 4 scenarios, the barn is the only one that doesn't give you a hint about anything.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think that one is just fuck you.
Yep. That one's
it's probably one of the hardest parts.
That one's like, you've had your fun. You got some shots in. I'm taking your fucking quarters. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for the bank, it also has one of my favorite scenes with like the guy that rolls on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're just standing there and out of nowhere there's this dude like slow motion rolling and you're like, all right. And for some reason his hitbox is like the biggest. Like you can.
So he's like, so there's a counter, like the teller's counter, and then there's the little walkway like to get behind the teller's counter. And that walkway has a gate. So you can see the floor. And what he's doing is he's crouching behind one side and he's rolling over to the other side. But instead of doing like a shoulder tuck roll, he just goes like full fucking hot dog style and just like barrel rolls across it.
He's
in
literally
the slowest
fashion. Hot
fashion.
it.
Yeah. Yes, he's hot dog rolling it across the way. So it's just
it's so funny. And then like I remember one time we were playing, like I missed pretty bad and still hit him. I was like, oh, okay, this guy just has a huge hitbox. Like, whatever. Thanks.
Yeah, he hot dog rolls almost to the other side, but then sort of rolls back to stand up to shoot you between the gate.
He's my favorite guy to shoot in the whole game. I don't give a fuck. He's hilarious, the rolling guy. But, after you clear the bank out, you go back out front. The guy that told you that there's more inside, he's the one that tells you, don't go around back of Mad Dog's hideout. He's like, you gotta, or don't go to the front. You gotta go through the, or yeah. Or no, it's like the guy with the chili bowl hat.
Yeah, he tells you, doesn't he have a bulletproof vest? That's what his clue is?
Maybe that's what it was, yeah.
Because the prospector tells you don't fucking go to the front.
Right, you're right. Yeah, he tells you, like, Mad Dog wears a bulletproof vest, so, hey, you gotta pay attention, I guess, if you want to save your quarters.
Somebody paid attention. Wasn't Brian.
Yeah. You'll see from the footage. I die a lot. But, after you're doing that, it's when you get to the barn. And I think, wasn't the bank the first one where the guys pop up in random places? Like, it's not the same every time.
I mean, it depends. The barn and the bank have various
barn definitely
locations.
Does it. You'll see in the footage. Again, so apologies.
Mm-hmm. The bank is the same, where it's randomized.
Yeah. So most of the time, the first two scenarios, the guys are in the same place every time. Like, it's just remembering where they pop up, remembering when to shoot. It's not bad. But yeah, those two, it's like, it might be different depending on, your game or whatever. The big thing is with the barn, you clear it out. That's the one that doesn't give you a hint. So then it switches to like a different menu screen where it's like, oh no, actually the prospector first. It is really funny. You just like stumble upon the prospector getting tied up to like the most ludicrous amount of dynamite I've ever seen in my life. Like it's like a fucking Looney Tune. And Mad Dog's literally just tying him up and you're just watching Mad Dog tie him up. And it's funny because like, isn't the whole game supposed to be like through your eyes? It's like, why don't you just smoke Mad Dog right there?
Yeah.
You just watch him tie this dude to the most insane amount of dynamite.
Yeah, it's like, imagine like you walk up on the scene and you're like standing there with a gun. You're like, all right, I can't shoot him until he's done.
Yeah, like, get out of here, Mad Dog.
That's what the script says.
Right.
The script told me I have to wait. So I need to wait.
Because Mad Dog even does a thing where like the trope where he lights a cigar and then he lights the fuse, the dynamite with it and starts laughing and like walks away. And it's like, you have so much time, you could have just beat the game there, but whatever. And then the prospector is like, you've got to shoot the fuse. And it's funny because I had like this crazy false memory where I was like, oh, fuck, Barry, this part's hard. I remember this shit. I was getting confused with Mad Dog 2. It's admittedly the one I'm more familiar with because that scene is bullshitting too. But the first one, you shoot the fuse and it's like easy as shit. I was like, oh, okay, like prospector saved. Yeah, and he's the one that tells you don't go around through the back door. So after
he tells you don't go to the front door.
Front door. Yeah, it's another one where it will switch like front and back.
Oh, really?
Yes, you got to pay attention. But like
every time we played it was don't go to the front. For us,
yes. But one of the videos I watched online, he said that shit. I was like, huh?
Interesting.
I don't know which version. I think it was the arcade. So who knows, man? But yeah, we lucked out. It was back every time, which is hilarious. It's like, duh, don't go through the heavily guarded front. Thanks for the info, bro. Like, kind of figured that one out myself. But yeah, basically, as soon as you get to like this cave entrance, the prospect, this is the most bullshit part. And this is where it's like, we're taking all your monies. He'll say like, oh, you've got to shoot the lantern first. And then out of nowhere, he'll be like, shoot the pitchfork too. Or it was the sign. We had a couple different scenarios. But
it's like, look for the lantern.
Right.
Hit the pitchfork.
Right. And you're like, wait, what? Dude, we couldn't find this pitchfork. Like it was...
And if you had a certain amount of time to shoot this object... And then the mine would just explode. Yeah. So I constantly did not understand why shooting the pitchfork would stop the mine from exploding.
Right.
I couldn't like link that together, being like, okay, like why is it going to explode if I don't hit the pitchfork? But I never saw the pitchfork to see like, oh, it's threaded up against something.
It took us a couple. Because
then eventually it switched to say to shoot the sign.
Right. And you're like, what, that sign? Like,
cool. Maybe it registered how bad we fucking were and was like, let me give him something easier.
It's literally just a scene they'd be like, I'm taking all your fucking money. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. And also, it's perfect with this theme of no rhyme or reason. So after he's like, oh, you got him, thank you, let's go in. Actually, let's shoot some bottles. Like, you're trying to sneak in the Mad Dog's hideout, and he's like, you know what, let's just start shooting some fucking rounds
off. He, like, pulls out a fifth and starts chugging it. Yeah.
And he, like, tosses in the air, and you got to shoot it out of the air, and he's like, wow, great shot. Shoot another. And you better get used to that soundbite, because you're going to hear it a lot. And it's like, you got to shoot 3 or 4 bottles out of the air, just like, all right, let me reload my 6-shooter. Now we can go sneak in. Like, why are we shooting rounds off? Like, it just makes no sense. It's
nobody can hear those.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Nobody can hear it.
Nobody can hear these loud-ass black powder fucking pistols just exploding, but it's so goofy. It's literally there just to extend the game. It's anime filler. But after that scene of the mountain,
it's the relaxing beach scene before the final battle.
Right. It gives you, like, a map, and this is another point in the game where it, like, tells you, you know, you get choices of where you want to go. And the best way I can describe it's like, think of, like, a DVD menu screen where you can, like, select scene selection or play or that kind of shit. But it's like your paths. It'll give you a path of the map and be like, here, this is the way you want to go. It'll give you, like, up and down, or maybe it's, like, more left and right of different signposts you got to hit. And there's not really, like, a consequence for going the wrong way. Like, you've got to do a shootout. Like, you're running the Mad Dog's guys, but it's not the worst thing. If you remember them, it's pretty straightforward and pretty rudimentary. So let's just say you take the right path and you're up on this house in the woods, and it does like this weird thing where it like just zooms in on the chimney. And you're like, okay, I guess I shoot the chimney. So you shoot the chimney, and of course it like collapses down. Everybody comes running out, and it's like, hey, if we didn't steal your quarters before, we're stealing them now, because this part was some bullshit, bro. Like I died here more than anywhere in the game, I think. You've got to be quick on these dudes running out the door. Mm-hmm. So I think it's 4 consecutive dudes on the door. And of course, the 5th guy, after I'm sitting there, is the fucking mayor. So I shoot the mayor, and it's like, oh, God, here we go. But if you don't shoot the mayor, he's like, hey, they've got my daughter inside. Please help her. So just as you enter this room just filled with smoke, you can't see shit. There's a guy in the smoke you have to kill. So it's like, yep, we're taking all your monies. So you kill him. You know, you can't see shit, mind you. But, of course, you can perfectly see this note that says, meet me in the middle of town, Mad Dog. It's the only thing you can see in the heaviest, thickest smoke you could possibly imagine.
And, of course, the girl's not there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so he's got her, apparently. So you go back to town, and you have, like, your, you know, prototypical, like, showdown, where it's, like, Mad Dog's there, and he's like, hey, I don't remember what the fuck he says. He talks some shit or whatever. He goes to draw, and if you listen to his hints, you know you can't just shoot him in the chest because he wears a bulletproof vest. So you got to, like, shoot the gun out of his hand, and then he immediately draws for another one you've got to shoot out also. And then he falls on his ass like he just got shot in the fucking head or something, but clearly he didn't. You just shot his hands or the gun because his hands aren't bleeding.
Yeah, I thought you had to shoot him 3 times.
It's twice. Yeah,
twice?
Which is, like, it's kind of... The second shot is, like, you have to be pinpoint with that shit. Because the first one's, like, pretty doable.
Yeah, I thought it was bam, bam, and then one final shot, but you couldn't hit him in the chest.
Right. He's just out. And he's, like, laying there like you just, you know, put one between his eyes. And then the town's like, oh, my God, you did it. You saved the mayor's daughter. Like, thank you so much. And it's just all sequel setup, bro. Because, like, after you guys have your little reunion, you just hear shots in the background. You're like, oh, what's going on? And they all turn around, and it's Mad Dog on a horse. He has to, like, unload all of his ammo into the air, do, like, 3 spins on a horse. And then he rides off.
Into the sunset.
Yep. And then the prospector looks right at you and is like, we might need your help again, stranger. So, like, total sequel tag, bro. Like, it's beautiful.
I'm sitting there like, we still fucking strangers?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Just save the town.
I am the new sheriff.
Let the sheriff die.
Sheriff's
but, like,
dead.
That ain't on us. He
I am the sheriff.
And that's what he gets, bro. You gotta have
I would have snatched that badge right off that man's chest in the street. Give me that shit.
Yeah. And that's how the game ends. You know, I do kind of love this story in a weird way just because it's got... Look, I always tell people I like the top 10 and the bottom 50 of movies and shit. Like, I kind of like some cheese, and this game has, like, just the right amount of cheese where it's, like, ridiculous and kind of goofy. It's fun, man. It's a fun little adventure. It's short. It's a short little adventure. It's, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's short. I appreciate the variety that they put in, or at least tried to put in. As much variety as this game has. Like, you want to talk about branching paths, like, there's not really branching paths. There's just kind of different ways to get to the same ending. But that being said, like, I appreciate this version of a game that has a little bit more player choice versus like a rail shooter.
Right.
So, you know, a rail shooter, it's the same shit every single time you go the same exact way. You have no control over where you're going. They all pop up the same ways. Like, in a sense, part of this is kind of a rail shooter, but it's very, like, static.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it is primitive, but, like, the fact that it's an arcade game with, like, branching paths, it's almost unheard of, especially back then. Like, kudos to them for trying, you know? And that's the thing, like, everybody gave it their all. We were talking about how cheesy and shit it is, but these boys and girls tried, man. Like, it's fun. We were sitting there smiling and laughing and shit the whole time. Like, it's a fun little adventure. You're not going to win any Oscars, but you know what? Like, kudos to the story. It's a fun little adventure, man. All right, now I think this is where we kind of focus on individual ports of the game because this is where they're starting to get a little interesting. I think we'll start with the first version we played. Maybe it's a mistake to play this version first, but we played the Wii first because honestly, I was like, hey, this is going to be the most modern version of this game. Mm-hmm. Maybe we won't have to, like, you know, sync up the light guns and shit. We just put it in and we fucking play it.
We vibe it.
Yeah. So we also did just play this on a CRT just because it's fun to play that way. Like, I don't know. I'm old school. Like, I wanted to get...
Well, I mean, we already had to have a CRT to hook up the light guns. Might as well hook the Wii up to it.
So, like, why not, man? Yeah. But,
you were fortunate enough to have a Wii.
Yes. with the AV cables.
With me, I don't have a Wii because I have a Wii U that plays Wii games, so I wouldn't have been able to hook up to a CRT.
Right, yeah.
HDMI, that's it.
Thank God I'm a hoarder and I've got a Wii U and a Wii. But yeah, it was a fun, man, just to set it up like that and play it old school. I really miss the light gun genre on, like, home consoles. Just because, like, it's not a thing past the Wii. Like, the technology doesn't even work on modern TVs. Yeah, just get a VR. Yeah, that's true. That's where we're at
Plenty of it now.
You get to be the gun, the body, everything.
Floating hand.
Yep. But it is kind of like a lost genre. It is fun going back and playing. The Wii was, like, the best console ever for it because you had a fucking light gun controller the whole time. Like,
yep.
I know
and it was set up to where you didn't need a specific, like, you could. It was self-contained. Yeah. Right? So you could hook that up on any style TV, a monitor, a TV, anything, and it had its own self-contained unit of, like, registering the Wiimote.
Yeah, because you had the sensor bar. Like, you didn't need a peripheral.
Right. It wasn't on infrared or anything like that. So they were really smart of being like, we're making the Wii with a self-contained light bar to read the consoles, and you can play this on anything.
I miss it. I know there is some other, like, light gun ports on the Wii, like LA machine guns and shit, but, like, damn it, maybe that's a subset I need to go after. It's
like you could hook a Wii up to a projector, and it's still gonna work.
They had the secret sauce for light guns. Light gun enthusiasts like myself, like the Wii was the goat. But
they had the most accessible form of a light gun
for sure.
Yeah,
like, no questions asked.
I just kind of wish that they would have maybe made more models of Wiimotes that were for like light gun games, where, you know, it had the same button layout. Yeah, but it was. You know, the A button was a physical trigger that you would pull, and they did that a little bit with the zapper. But I'm talking like a light gun.
I don't love the zapper, bro. I think it's just ergonomically weird. Like, it doesn't feel like a pistol. You know what I mean? It feels like I guess it was supposed to be a crossbow or whatever. But yeah, I don't love the zapper. There is something cool about holding these big plastic fucking goofy 6-shooters, but you know, playing light gun games and shit. But hey. It works great with the Wiimote. It was super accurate. I think the only adjustment we made is I had it initially below and ended up putting above. It tracks great. It plays great. You get the 6-shooter sounds with the Wiimote. And obviously the Wii version, like, it's the most modern. It's going to look the best. Even on the CRT we were looking at, and I was like, damn, this thing runs way smoother than I remember. It
surprisingly looked really good, too.
Yeah. It was kind of like the perfect balance on a CRT, where it kind of had me some childhood nostalgia, just being on a CRT and getting that kind of fuzzy image, but running crystal clear, running really smooth. Like, the Wii version runs great, man. Like, it's kind of, you know, unfair to sit here and be like, oh, does the Wii version perform better than the fucking 3DO version? Like, yeah, of course it does, man. It's more modern. But it's a really great port. Like, it works well, sounds great. Like, there was no audio issues for us. the Wii version's outstanding, man. I don't really have anything negative to say about the Wii version at all. Like, it's the most accessible, it's the most modern, it looks the best, it sounds the best.
It didn't chug or anything like that.
Yeah, it was super smooth. And even like, if you're having Wiimote issues, like I know, some light guns are kind of annoying and finical, which, yeah, we'll get there, don't worry. But the Wii version's like, it's an easy fix. Like, you just adjust your Wii bar settings or,
recalibrate your Wiimote.
It's so easy to do.
I mean, there was, as far as it running smooth, like, there was times in the other games where the system had to spend so much time loading the disc to try to get to that next part of, like, when a dude would pop up versus it would pop up and then it would load, and if it hadn't registered that you'd shot him before the loading was finished, or however it functioned on the back end, like, there was a clear, like, everything froze and then it kept going.
Yeah.
Where the Wii was so smooth that there was just so many parts of that game where, like, we couldn't pick up on when the moment was to go.
Yeah.
Because it was so quick. Not quick. I don't want to say quick. Quick's not the right word. It
performed like it was supposed to.
It performed like it was supposed to. And I remember there was really only one, the guys running out of the cabin when you smoked them out. That one is really hard to tell, like, when the moment was to shoot the first guy. The timing was really hard to tell because all the other ones, we just had that cue. And it was just, it was mechanically, the cue was when you heard the disc go, and then, like, the screen freeze, like, there it is, right?
And there was some that just said, like, loading, like, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, and the other one that was difficult was the barn, where you kill the one or the two guys, depending on your difficulty, and then the little tiny window in the upper left, there was another shooter, and it was very hard to tell, it was hard to tell that he was even there, and then B, it was really hard to tell, like, when it was to shoot him. So we went through that one, like 4 times before we, like, picked, or maybe a couple times. We went through that one a few times, but there was just nothing on the screen to indicate to me, like, oh, he's there, or I can see the guy moving up into the window. It was just a black spot, and the next thing you know, like you're dead. So the only way I could catch it was noticing that the points, when the points, like, would click over, you, like, killed the first 2 guys, and it's a point, like, the more points you get, the more times you can keep replaying the game if you die. Because it takes out of your point pool. So if you kill some guys, you gain points. So when we killed the guys, it would pause for a second, and then you could see the point counter flip over. And I'm like, as soon as the point counter flips over is when he shoots you.
That was a good catch, because I was getting pissed.
We were like, how are we to figure it out? And I'm looking, and I see the point counter flip over, and then Brian get blasted again. I said, all right, I'm going to tell you when to shoot. And he's like, okay. And I was like, now, and it worked. But it was just... I don't want to say it was impressive, but it made the game a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because it ran how it was supposed to.
What a foreign concept.
And I think what they wanted to do with this game was just ahead of where the technology was at the time.
For sure. For the home port, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny sitting here and just being like, let's talk about the Wii version, how much better it is. But, like, yeah, dude, the Wii version's great. I have absolutely no complaints with the Wii version whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think it would have been sick if there was, like, how they did, like, the plastic bundle fishing rods. Getting, like, a 6-shooter bundle would have been fucking cool. But, beggars can't be choosers, whatever.
Yeah, and not only does the first game come on this, but you also get Mad Dog 2, The Lost Gold, and The Last Bounty Hunter.
That's
which
true.
The Last Bounty Hunter is supposedly a McCree game, but in the description of it, he's not in it.
Yeah,
it's a couple other outlaws that you have to hunt down.
It's actually one I've never played. Mad Dog 2 I'm very familiar with. I love Mad Dog 2. Mad Dog 2, like, I don't want to focus too much on it because we're talking about 1, but vast improvement over the first game. Like, there's more branching paths. There's different sidekicks you can take with you. So there's, like, literally 3 different versions of the game you can play. So, like, what a treat. You get 3 games for the price of 1, which the Wii version's not even that expensive, right? I initially picked it because I remember... I was looking for this Wii version forever because it was like 60, 70, 80 bucks at one point. And I was like, I love Mad Dog, but, like, fuck, man, it's a Wii game. Like, I'm very picky about how much I'm going to spend on the Wii just because, look, I'm not trying to bash the Wii. I was a 360 guy. The Wii was always, like, the shovelware machine for me. Like, no disrespect to the Wii enthusiasts out there, but, I mean, even now, like, $50 for a Wii game is a lot of money for a Wii game. I know you got a couple top tier ones or whatever, but...
I think it's the ratio of the console where there is a great selection of games on the Wii that are like top tier games, and then there's just a flood of just shit.
So much shovelware bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one I held off forever picking up, and obviously I eventually did get it, but it's like $40 now, which, hey, you'll see about some of the other ones. It's not a bad price point for this thing. It's affordable now. I think it's the best version, and it's affordable. Alright, after the Wii version, let's take a look at the 3DO, the second one we got to play the most. This one I don't have a light gun for, because the light gun itself was like $300, and look, I love y'all. I'm talking without the box and shit, just loose.
Sheesh.
I love
Check
y'all.
our Patreon for a foot pick, so maybe we'll get one.
Yeah, maybe some mashed potatoes.
Feet finder.
Making some instant mashed potatoes in the bathtub with my feet, Don't steal my idea, people, shit. But, yeah, I couldn't do it. Like, I have other light gun versions. I wasn't going to spend that kind of money on a 3DO. I do have two versions of the 3DO. I have the Gunslinger collection that has Crime Patrol and Mad Dog 2 with it. And I also have the standalone release. But there's multiple versions out there for variant horrors like myself. Like, hey, that option's available. So, obviously, we didn't have the light gun. We had to play this version with the controller. Man, this game was rough playing with the controller, bro. I'll just get that right out of the way. The trick of it is the 3DO at least tried to do something cool. It gave you the 3 buttons on the front. It was 2 times speed, 4 times speed.
That was it. It was standard 2 times, 4 times.
So it gave you like the option to like speed up your cursor, but like, man, this game is not made for a controller and trying to use a cursor. Like,
no, there got points in the game where no matter how fast your cursor would go, the length that you had to travel across the screen from one to the other was just not enough time.
Yeah.
If you look at the draw, right? Like if you go into the barn scenario where it is randomized and you don't know what order they're going to be in, you have to somehow flip your cursor over to potentially the complete opposite side in time to get this little tiny head that's on the screen. And just the ability to control that at the speed that it provided accurately in the time, like it wasn't possible.
No, it's literally like, oh, I hope this guy pops up here, and if he doesn't, I guess I'll keep trying until I get the perfect order. Like the barn scene, impossible, because it's random. Like, you have to just get lucky, and it's like, do I have the time for that, or can I just throw in the Wii version and beat this fucking game?
The bank I feel like was a little more doable,
Yeah.
just because of the size of the models were a bit bigger, or the size of the hitboxes for the characters on the screen were a little bit bigger, so you could kind of finagle it over pretty far to make it. But the barn, their hitboxes were very, very small.
Yeah.
You had to be very accurate very quickly, and it just didn't afford you enough time.
There's several times where I'm like, oh, this guy pops up here, I'm gonna get him. Nope.
Yeah.
Because it was a micrometer off.
Yep.
Also, the 3DO is the first version you're going to know where it's like, hey, the technology wasn't quite there like we were talking about earlier. It's not the worst piece of shit I've ever seen, but it's under VHS quality, I would say. On a disc, it's tough, bro. Like, you start getting some squares. There's versions that look worse, but this is the first one where I was like, ooh, like, and look, obviously it's an older than the Wii. I'm assuming it's going to look worse. I'm not an idiot. But, the 3DO version, it's serviceable. I would have loved to try it with a light gun. Maybe, based on our other experiences with light guns.
Yeah, I guess the best way I can describe this reduction of quality is like, imagine taking a video and just reducing it down to a GIF at like the smallest kilobyte possible that you need to like send it somewhere. And it just crunches it and it crunches it and it crunches it.
Right.
And then it crunches it some more.
And that's the thing, like, look, the 3DO version, if you want to buy this thing, it's like $40. It's like the same price as the Wii. Like, I ain't telling you what to do with your money in your life, but Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about full package, let's assume that you don't have any of the stuff to run it.
Right.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Like, how many people just have a 3DO laying around, other than dorks like me?
Yeah.
The Wii version's looking like first place so far. But yeah, the 3DO version, as far as, like, home ports, it's serviceable. I wish I would have got that full experience with the light gun. But speaking of light guns,
yeah,
how about we move on to the CDI version? Because this was literally the reason why I wanted to do this episode. Because I got this awesome, like, we'll put pictures of it up, but like this big box version that has the light gun with it. And bro, I got a deal on this. Like, this is probably my best deal I've gotten all year because this thing is expensive. The big box version's like pushing $300. I did not pay near that much for it. And man. Look, we're not 3D.
That was a ride in of itself.
We're not CDI people at all. Like, I don't have one. Like, shout out to Nate for letting me borrow his CDI because I don't have one. I don't see him very often. But, like, I wanted every version of this game because I love Mad Dog. It's one I grew up playing.
So we used a Magnavox?
Yeah.
A Magnavox, not a Philips.
Which, if y'all don't know, this console's just weird in of itself. Like, the power cables.
It's a top loader.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. The power cable's like a Ethernet cable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? But
yeah, I think the initial struggle of this one is just not understanding that we didn't have the hardware to run this.
yeah, we learned something, didn't we? Which is kind of humbling.
I'm not a CDI person whatsoever. I have absolutely no desire to ever own or ever look into buying this for any reason at all, ever. So, like, I don't know anything about a CDI. I just couldn't give a single shit.
Yeah.
So we gotta hook it up. We gotta hook everything up, and you can, like, see that it's registering the light gun is there.
Yeah, it was cool because it was kind of like a mouse pointer on like the
it's
menu,
like a little.
like, hey, this is gonna work.
If I remember correctly, it looks like a little hand holding a gun, but it's like stuck on the side.
Yep.
Or that's the other one. I can't remember.
Yeah, we never made it that far in this version.
That's true.
It was just like dragging the mouse pointer on like the DVD menu of the CDI.
Yeah.
But it was like registering that the gun works.
So it was registering the gun works. We slapped the game in, and then it was like, sorry, but you need to include.
Oh yeah, let's get this terminology
the digital
correct.
video converter. It's like digital video converter, like not present, or I don't know how the words were.
I think it said like requires this version of this game requires the digital video accelerator, whatever the fuck it is.
And then obviously here's the clip of us just being so fucking confused on like what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But come to find out, there's an entire like cartridge that you have to buy separately and then mount inside of the system to read for games, for a select amount of games. And that select amount of games is actually a very large list. We looked it up after this, after we figure out
something, wasn't it?
It was 54, I think. Whether or not that's 54 individual games or like games that are like 5 games on one, it's who's to say? But it was about 54 games that needed a digital video converter. And I said, what the fuck is a digital video converter? Where does it go on this thing? And the Magnavox one, there was a little hump on the left-hand side. And I'm looking at it like, there's a seam here. This isn't part of the top part of the console. Like, there's a seam. I can take this off. What's under here? Maybe it's under here. So I popped it off. There's nothing under there. That's where the digital video converter goes in the Magnavox. And in the Philips, there's a slot in the back where you shove it inside there. And so you can turn it around, and I've seen some pictures of some other CDIs on the backside where it literally, if there isn't, you very clearly know if it's in there or not. You turn it around, and if it's inside, it'll literally say digital video converter on it. The Magnavox one, you would have to pop the top of it off to see if it's installed inside, and it's not very hard. It's just 2 little plastic clips that you depress, and then you pop it off.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there.
Dude.
So without this, you couldn't play the game, period. You couldn't get to a menu. You couldn't do anything.
Yep.
So I don't really know, like, why we need a digital video converter for this game. Like, mechanically, I don't know what the function of that is, because I don't know anything about CDI.
Right. I'm not a CDI guy.
But we're just sitting there just, like, so disappointed.
But even, like, the big box, like, I didn't notice
it's
it.
so tiny.
It's so small. And the way they word it was fucked up, too, because it says, I don't want to get this wrong, because it was fuckery.
No, it's on the front.
Oh, Mad Dog McCree requires an optional digital video cartridge. So how does it require an optional fucking thing? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Right, and I would liken that to the 64.
Yeah.
Right, and this is exactly the 64 where you needed the expansion pack to play fucking Donkey Kong and Zelda.
Yep.
And the only reason anybody had an expansion pack was to play Donkey Kong and Zelda. So that is an optional expansion pack for the console in the same way that this is the 64's expansion pack for the CDI, but nobody fucking bought it.
Well,
this thing does not exist on the internet.
I was gonna say, if you want to buy one, because I was at the point where I was like, I want to play this. I bought this for this episode. Like, let's go on eBay and get one, bro. None available. 0.
I will say that the one that I was looking at recently just dropped by $100.
Ooh.
So you can't find these individually.
No
one's selling the actual digital video converter by itself. I did find one listing of someone who had a Philips CDI with it installed.
Interesting.
And they just dumped it. I think the price they dumped it yesterday by $100, so it's like $250 for the whole
bad,
thing.
Honestly, shit.
For the whole thing.
It's not bad at all, because like the console itself's like pushing $400.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
So,
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can't find these individually at all. We found protectors for sealed video things before we found an actual converter. So if y'all are out even remotely interested in the CDI version, if y'all see a CD out in the wild, check if it's got that thing. Because, like, honestly, it's worth buying if it's the price of the console. Because these things are tough to come by.
yeah, I would say if you do want a CDI and you don't have one, I would say wait until you can find one with it.
Yeah.
Installed already.
I was going to say I found an old Reddit thread for CDI, and it was like, where do I find one of these? And they're like, you find a CDI that already has one. That's how you find these things. So, big disappointment on the CDI version. I was pretty heartbroken, honestly. It was kind of like, fuck.
The only other thing I could think of is maybe you'll strike lucky if you can find a CDI for parts. Yeah. And maybe the person who's got it for parts, because it just doesn't function, doesn't know that the digital video converters are movable. And like I said, if you're looking on online listings, this is a lot easier to see if it comes installed in a Philips.
Yeah.
But the Magnavoxes, if they're not going to show pictures of that compartment, you're not going to know if it's installed unless you ask them.
Yep.
So.
Hands on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say it sucks. I was pretty heartbroken, but I am kind of glad we learned something. Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's cool to learn shit. Like, so it was a weird, expensive.
Yeah, we don't know everything.
Yeah, admittedly, I don't know fucking everything, but
there's tons of. I don't know dick all about the Wonder Swan. Yeah. You know.
I know I want them Gundam games, but yeah, it was cool to learn something. It's just a really unfortunate and expensive way to learn. It sucks because this is what I wanted to base the episode around. Like, this was a really cool collectible piece, and I love that I have this. Like, this big box looks awesome.
Mad Dog McCree and the Peacekeeper revolver.
And that's what's funny. Like, the revolver and shit, it's so clean. It looks like it's never been used.
Yeah.
Probably because the previous owner didn't have the fucking activator or whatever.
Yep.
So I'm glad I have this, but yeah, like I said, it's an expensive version for maybe one you're not gonna be able to play. If you get the disc by itself with like the jewel case, it's like $20. So. It's not bad. It's an affordable version. Good luck playing it. And that leads us to our last version we're looking at, the Sega CD version. So, I don't have a light gun for this, but again, shout out, thank you, Nate. I borrowed his Justifier from Lethal Enforcers, and I was like, hey, we'll use this. It'll work on the CD. Kept reading online how it works. Apparently, these things are super fickle, and we tried so hard. I mean, it was a good 30, 45 minutes of us trying to sit there and make this light gun work. Where, like, maybe it's the studio lights that's throwing the light off, but, like, it would register shots, like, the screen would blink when you pulled the trigger. It just, the cursor wouldn't move, or, like, we couldn't get it to aim or register or anything. I mean, we tried it. We tried hooking a 32X up for no reason, just trying to get anything for this fucking thing to work, but we could just not get this light gun to work. So, another disappointment. But, hey, we could still play with the awesome controller mode, right? Dude, this was worse than the 3DO, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. One, the 3DO has like a bumper, so you can shoot with that and keep your hand on the track button. The Sega CD version, the A button makes you shoot, so like you have to move your thumb off of it to try to hope and pray you can get that cursor to the side of the screen faster. And it didn't have the 4 times option; it only had the 2 times option.
Crab claw is the option.
For real, bro, you got it.
Crab claw.
And the CD
fight pad.
Dude, that might have been the play. Shit,
iPad style.
Damn,
where you play it like you don't hold it like a normal controller. You put it down and you have multiple fingers on the buttons.
For Mad Dog.
Yep.
But yeah, this Sega CD version also, not the controller aside, the fucking quality. We were like cracking up, turning it off. Said, "Look at this shit, bro!
Terrible.
It's so bad. Like it."
And I don't know about everybody else's experience with the CD. But you hooking that shit up, it was just...
Yeah, I think I got weird.
In the background. I don't know if your cables were fucked up.
It might have been the TV, because I just recently lost like my CRT that was my baby that I loved, and it didn't do that through that CRT. And this was a little more newer version, so like I don't know if it just didn't like the audio.
I don't know, because you were also, like, you had your 32X slapped in it, and I don't know why Sega thought to make some kind of fucking modular transformer out of their freaking Genesis.
It's Frankenstein's monster, bro. Just keep hooking shit up to it.
They're just like, attachment.
Yeah.
So I would be curious if that is a product of the Genesis 2 with the bottom CDI attachment versus an actual self-contained CDI with the Genesis slot in the back.
Well, because we even tried...
Those are expensive.
Yeah. We even tried switching cables and stuff, because I was like, oh, I have, normal Genesis AV. Let's try hooking that up. And it's still just...
I think they were both aftermarket.
Yeah, I think the 32 one's the one that came with it, but the Genesis one was, but it's... It was annoying, but like I don't blame the game. I don't think it was the game because my other CRT TV did not do that. Like I played this version before, so maybe it was the TV. I don't know, but I can't recommend the Sega CD version at all, bro. Like
No.
It looks horrible. It plays bad on controller, and you know what? If you have a justifier that works, like maybe I cannot tell you because ours just would not work. We tried everything,
dude. I don't understand, and that after looking it up, it sounds like the justifier has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So.
Because Nate said it works. He's played Lethal Enforcers with it, so it's like maybe it's a TV thing. Maybe it's I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it didn't like your TV.
Maybe it didn't like my Genesis. I don't know. They're notoriously fickle, I guess, after doing a little bit of research. But man, I would have loved to play all these with light guns. I think this would have been a different conversation. But even still, I think hands down this is the worst version of the game. Like this thing is. There's a reason why it's the cheapest version too. Like it's $30 complete. Like that's a cheap Sega CD game, and it's not worth that in my opinion. Honestly, it's a bad port. Like I get they tried, and like Sega was just trying their hardest just to stay on top and stay relevant. So they Frankenstein this thing, like we said. It's not made to run CDs, and they made it run CDs. So I cut it some slack, but you have other options that are $10 more that are better.
I don't know. After looking at everything, I feel like if you're someone who's investing in a CDI or you're investing in a Sega CD, because there's tons of people out there who are like, oh, I want to play Sega Genesis because I remember playing Sonic,
right.
But like, no, like the likelihood of that kind of player investing in a CDI too, like the CDI people are there for a very specific reason.
Yes.
Like the CDI is not a cheap attachment and there's like 5 fucking games. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for you to be wanting or already owning a CDI, already owning a Sega CD, already owning a 3D fucking O, you already got a Wii.
Right.
You already have the Wii.
It's no contest.
Like,
it's no contest. Now. I don't want to sum up this episode quickly, but dude, it's no fucking contest at all.
And you know what? You let me know if you're that person who's listening to this and you're like, I have all that old shit, but fuck that new shit, and I don't have a Wii. Put your hand down. You have a Wii.
I do. But
just get the Mad Dog on the Wii. Like you're gonna have a better experience, and maybe leave the other ones as like collectible pieces for like a library collection, right? But a playable game, the Wii is it.
Hands down.
That's it.
And look, I am that weirdo that wants like every version of the game I love just because I'm a variant whore. I'm super glad I have this awesome giant CDI box, but I can't tell you in good faith to go buy it.
I think it's incredibly cool that it comes in a very large, oversized box with the game and a gun that comes in it.
On it.
Yeah,
it's the coolest box art.
I think the piece overall is probably the most collectible of all of them.
I agree.
But just functionally, that's so difficult to get that to run.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, yeah, this thing is so cool that you guys need to go out there and invest in a Philips CDI.
Right.
I can't. It's
almost like you're a sponsored YouTuber or something if you would say that.
Philips, not sponsored.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It's a great piece. I'm super happy I own it, but I can't tell you to go get it.
And now we're going to cut to this episode's sponsor, Philips.
Innovators in the industry with the CDI and the Magnavox. Oh, my God. Yeah. I can't in good faith. Look. I am that guy that wants old versions of shit because I like playing original hardware, but I would be a fool to tell you to grab anything else other than the Wii.
Is it worth it? Wii, yes.
Absolutely.
Is it worth it? Here's the thing too, right? CDI. You don't have a CDI. You gotta buy the CDI.
Yep.
You gotta buy the game. You gotta make sure your CDI has a fucking digital video converter. Or you could just buy a plane ticket and go to an arcade that has an arcade cabinet, have a good experience, and then go home.
Yeah. And the arcade version's like awesome. It's got the heavy gun. It's got a sensor in the gun where it like knows your quick drawing. Like
it's a really fun experience. And if you live anywhere around that has an arcade, I would look up to see on their website what games that they offer.
Yeah.
Having that experience of being able to go to an arcade like Galloping Ghost is in Chicago. So if you're in the Midwest and you ever go to Chicago,
it was so fun.
it stop by that arcade. It's worth going in there for, and it's worth really. I think it was Mad Dog. I think they have Mad Dog 2.
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't think they have Mad Dog 1. I think it's Mad Dog 2, but it's still kind of the same experience.
Oh, yeah.
So in terms of like a light gun for you to want to play it, like I would just recommend having that experience in a trip to go to an actual arcade. A collectible piece, I would say the CDI one, if you're really, really, really into that hole. And if you just want to play Mad Dog, get it on the Wii.
Absolutely.
You could get a Wii for like $50
all day. And now that's the thing, that Wii version used to be expensive. Not anymore.
$100 you can get the game and a Wii.
$10 more than the 3DO version and the CDI version, just disc by itself. You can get literally the best version, the most modern version with the hardware. You don't have to get a gun and shit. Like, it's the most arcade accurate experience. Like, it's dumb to sit here and just suck off the Wii version. But that's what I'm doing. It was a great port. Like, we've seen it in episodes past where it's like you get these just dog shit ports. Like the Sega CD version is a dog shit port. Like,
yeah,
if I didn't already own it, I would be like, oh my god, I didn't know it was that bad. I wouldn't want it. I want every version of Mad Dog. That's why it's staying home, you know. But
it's because Brian's a psycho.
yes, I would honestly say the 3DO version is number 2 for me, just because it's performs well enough.
3DO, I would love to have been able to play the 3DO with the light gun.
Same. Because it did have that like weird little stutter thing, but nowhere near as bad as the other two.
Yeah.
The Sega CD.
And without having that light gun experience, but just looking at them side by side, like running, like I think it would have blown it out of the water. Like the CDI one, or not the CDI, I'm sorry, the 3DO one would have just trumped the Sega CD version.
Yeah. And I actually looked up some gameplay and stuff of the CDI version. I think it's under the 3DO. Like the 3DO looks great, which makes sense if they ended up like
using it in the arcades, yeah.
But still, it did have that little lag and stuff. I wonder if the second iteration... I don't remember. It's been too long. I remember this arcade version looking beautiful. So,
I mean, to be fair, they're using a modified 3DO.
Right.
So it's not just like a home market version. So they probably dumped a little bit more money into modifying it for a cabinet like that.
That's very true. But yeah, I think, honestly, just playing this game, it's worth it, man. It's a cool piece of like video game history. And maybe I'm just a geezer, but like... looking back at this thing and being like, oh, you know, that's when it was new and innovative. I think it's cool to experience that, especially through like modern eyes. And the Wii is the best way to do it. No questions asked, hands down. Episode over. Like, the Wii version, absolutely worth it. Pick it up if you see it. It's a fun little game. It's got some resale value too. Like, it's not a bad investment for $40 all day. So, there you have it. What do y'all think? Y'all ever play Mad Dog? Y'all have fond memories of Mad Dog? Do y'all hate Mad Dog? Do y'all love Mad Dog? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know on social media, at Collecti-Bros Pod on all social media. Hey, Barry, what's next?
Next up, we're talking about Holy Grails. Grails. What grails that we have, and what grails that we're looking for. And this doesn't necessarily mean that it's an incredibly expensive item. They might have just been something that we considered a holy grail because we were hunting them down for years and years and years.
Yeah, that term grail gets thrown around a lot, man. Like,
it does.
It doesn't. It's. I hate to say it, it's turned into like just expensive, like ultra rare.
And this is not white whales. Okay,
Yeah.
This is not white whales. If you're interested in that, we've done an episode on it. I think I finally got my white whale, which is also my holy grail, which I'll talk about. I've already talked about it multiple times. But these are games that we have always wanted for our collection and see it as like, this is a piece that I need as a collector.
Right.
Above all others.
Yeah, how I kind of viewed it was like my centerpiece. Like, this is what I love. This is what I'm going to show you first.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah. So, whether or not it's expensive, I'm going to say mine kind of are, but...
I got a couple that are, and I got some that everyone else out there is going to be like, this is fucking worthless, why do you care?
Yeah.
It's my grail, goddammit.
But, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
On the next episode.
Yeah. You know, Batman Beyond, break that glass ceiling, stay oppressed, all that good shit.
Thanks for listening to the greatest podcast of all time.
Ever imagined.
Ever imagined, ever incepted. And if you believe it hard enough, it's true.
Beautiful parting words. I couldn't say it myself.
From the mothership to the hive mind, Collecti-Bros out.
Bye.